What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to my breakdown of the new Attuned Brigid Banner. So here we have got Edain and she is a infantry healer and she does bring some new skills for the healers which I really like. So here she can warp and she has got the massive warping and that is basically one of the main things that she could do. So she has got Staff of Ingvi as her preferred weapon. This gives her -1 special cooldown and it also has the Dazzling Staff built in. And she has got the 5-space aerobatics built in her weapon. No other unit in the game has this. I mean, I guess Merlinus has got this, but it has got insane range and, no limit for the spaces. So this kind of 5-space moving is going to be a lot more useful if you use it with Ice Lock because you're able to stop the enemy from attacking your ally. And Magic Shield Plus is good, but Ice Lock Plus is simply on a different level. But keep in mind that she doesn't have the 2-space warping and Ice Lock is a 2-range assist. So that's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, she's going to be jumping in to provide the support. If she uses a rally or movement assist, then she is going to be giving herself and the target ally the empathy status, which is a new status that Rune brought, and it basically gives you up to +7 to all of your stats, depending on the visible positive status effects on your team and the negative status effects on the enemy's team. And she also gives Canto 1 and the player phase guaranteed follow-up attack, which is not the most insane, honestly. We have got a lot of units who could just easily give out Canto 1 as a status. I guess Empathy is a bit more unique, but still Rune can give it at start of turn. And Edain does get +16 attack and resistance in the combat if she's within 3 spaces of an ally. And she also gets a lot of true damage based on 20% of her resistance, which is really helpful because she can run Resonance and then stack up even more true damage. And she is the first healer, I believe, to have Preempt Pulse built in her weapon, so she can get that special jump and then trigger her special and do a lot of damage. So she's a lot more offensive and pretty much is going to be making use of her resistance for the support. And she does have Magic Shield Plus as part of the normal summon pool. So this is an amazing scale for any kind of healer. Of course, it's not Ice Lock, but still, this is a really good assist for getting the extraction on your healers. And then she has got Glitter of Light for inflicting the flash status. And she has got a new healer skill in Sway Attack Resistance. So basically this is going to be giving you +12 to your attack and resistance depending on the number of allies in 3 spaces. And it also has Wrathful Staff built in. So now it does make sense why they made the Wrathful Staff Sacred Seal, because they probably intend to put Wrathful Staff and Dazzling Staff in these skills now so that healers could run some other skills in the slot B. And because Edain doesn't have any kind of piercing, Resonance could be an option that you could run if you stack up enough HP basically. But Speed Resistance Discord is still a good option, giving her some true damage and also the debuffs for the support. And she's got Infantry Pulse 4, but yeah, you will need to make sure that she has got some kind of Squad A Sacred Seal to stack up her HP. We already know her stats, so she has got the highest attack stat for a staff unit at base 48. Might have a super boon and then 45 base resistance, which will be helping with the Discord and Ploy skills. So I'm really happy about this new slot A skill, which the healers have got. I'm going to be waiting for the attack speed version of this for my Mercedes, but I'm happy that they're finally freeing up the slot B of these healers so that they could run the different skills. I mean, there are not too many skills, but still you could try and run the Tempo skill, Magical Null follow-up, or Resonance if you want to stack up the true damage, which mostly you need to do nowadays against these flat damage reduction units. So yeah, Edain is definitely going to be a bit more offensive, but she does come with some supportive effects that can help you, and the warping can also be used offensively as you do get the extraction after Magic Shield Plus. And then we have got Midir, and he is a Blue Bow Cavalier, and he actually has a lot of true damage. That seems to be the theme, I guess, because we have got a lot of flat damage reduction and true damage is the equalizer against that. So we have got Rampart Bow, which is going to be giving him -1 special cooldown, and he can inflict the -7 speed and defense debuff, the exposure status, and the deep wound status on the closest foes and the foes in 2 spaces of them. So it is really helpful to him and also to other allies. And because he does come with Slice the Sparrow, these kinds of visible negative status effects are really helpful in meeting its condition. And then at sort of combat, if his HP is at or above 25%, then he could get up to 14 to all of his stats. And he also has the null debuffs effect, so none of the debuffs of the enemy is going to be affecting him, and then he's going to be debuffing the enemy. And he also gets a lot of true damage, so he can get up to 32 true damage depending on number of foes in 3 spaces of target, including that target times 8. So this is not really all that hard to do, and he's going to be able to hit extremely hard along with the exposure status that he gets and the true damage out of Slash the Sparrow. So all of that is going to be helping you do it, and then you could maybe run Assassin Strike as well for even more true damage, but he doesn't really have any kind of piercing, so I do think that he's going to be needing some kind of Deadeye. And then he has got the 7 flat damage reduction on his first attacks, which can help him sometimes, but it's not that insane of a flat damage reduction. And maybe if he had like damage reflection, that would have been insane, like Fogado. And then he has got Slash the Sparrow, which is also present in the normal summon pool now. This is one of the best skills for any kind of nuke, especially for the nukes that are run with Winter Cordelia or Bridal Catria along with Emblem Lyn, because you get the true damage on every single hit, and this also gives you the guaranteed follow-up attack, so it acts like a pseudo half-null follow-up for these flying and for these cavalry units who do not have easy access to null follow-up outside of like odd speed wave or something like that. So really good slotty scale, especially if you can inflict debuff status on the enemy or get positive status yourself. And he does have inside speed defense for that, so that can also work out for him. And I'm glad that we're getting some other variant of this finally. So he is overall a pretty nice bow cavalier. His damage output is going to be good, and he's going to be able to make use of the Emblem Lyn ring with his true damage. And if he's able to get any kind of brave attack support with Winter Cordelia, then he's going to be able to hit really hard with his offenses. And then we have got the demote and the 4-star focus of the banner in Dew. So he is a dagger infantry unit, just like Lara, who we did get last year. And then he has got the finish skill, the speed defense finish, which I guess does help if you're foddering Attuned Timera. And he has got Helping Dagger Plus, which is basically the non-seasonal version of Small Spade Plus of Summer Clan. So this is actually a pretty nice weapon if you don't have any kind of Arcane Dagger, because this can give up to plus 20 attack and speed to you. So that's great offensively, and you also get special cooldown charge +1 per attack. So that's even better if you're not an infantry unit, because you don't really have access to Flash Sparrow or the Plet skills. So a decent dagger, and then he has got attack speed gap, and he does have pretty good speed stat. He's going to be liking the new Arcane Sly Knife actually. He does have a bit higher defense as well. Stat-wise, he is similar to Patty, and he is going to be able to match Noir and Metade for their offenses. They are just going to be slightly more offensive, just slightly with their attack stat. So I would just put him in tier 1 of my Arcane Sly Knife tier list, if you're wondering. So we have got the Attuned unit, the star of the banner, and Attuned Brigid, and she is a really strong unit, especially now that we have got Emblem Lyn ring, and we have got Far Saviors as a thing that you're absolutely going to be seeing because of the Lyn ring and teams trying to protect their allies. So here she's going to be getting attacked by Alphonse, and she has got Divine Ufel. She is a green bow archer just like Emblem Lyn, but she is going to be a lot more offensive than Lyn with the true damage essentially. But she doesn't really have the potent follow-up attack or the desperation, but still, that's fine. She is a bit different type of nuke. So this weapon gives her -1 special cooldown, and then at start of turn, she's going to be giving herself and the allies in 2 spaces the +6 attack and speed buff, the Insighted status, which can give you the extra stats and also extra offenses in the player phase, and you also give out the Order status, which is not bad, I guess, for moving, but other units easily have it. And then in the combat, she's able to get attack and speed equal to 20% of her visible speed, +6, so this is going to be around 16 to 17 a lot of times, and she gets true damage based on the number of bonus status effects present on her and the negative status effects present on the enemy. So this is going to be ×5, and you get max 25 true damage out of it, which is quite a lot. Again, you're going to be running supports like Brattle Catria and Winter Cordelia when you run an Emblem Lin Ring user to maximize your offenses, and there, this kind of true damage helps you on every single hit. And then she gets a -2 cooldown follow-up attack pulse, basically the preempt pulse, but -2 for your follow-up attack, which does make sense because she does come with creation pulse. So this is for the follow-up attack, and this can help her nuke a lot better and basically trigger Deadeye on her double attack as well. If she has got any kind of dispersion status as a support, which you could do even outside of Emblem Lin by running any kind of dancer with Firestorm Dance. And finally, she has got the Omni Feud effect built in this. It is a pretty important line and a lot of people are going to be missing it, but being an Omni Feud nuke is always going to be good because you're going to be stopping any kind of in-combat support of the enemies. You're going to be stopping Breath of Life healing. Stuff like Divine Nectar is going to be staying though with the enemy as a status, but any kind of other effects you're just going to be able to ignore, which is really strong on a unit like this who has a lot of true damage. And then we have got Emblem Lin, so you could try and use her ring and attack from a distance and just disable any kind of support skills of the enemies and try and kill them. So it's going to be really strong. And then she has got perfect attack speed as a new skill. So I think this is probably going to be infantry locked. This is going to be a mixed phase skill, which is a bit different than Slice's Barrow. And it is essentially going to be trading the true damage for the full null follow-up. And this does help a lot of the infantry units because if they have other skills that they want to run in their slot B, slot C and stuff, then this kind of skill is going to be giving you the compression. And it is the case for a lot of the units nowadays. They simply do not have null follow-up in their kit. And it's also mixed phase, so it is not just going to be helping you in nuking, but also in the enemy phase. And you can get up to +10 attack and speed in the combat. And it's not really going to be all that hard to get the full effect out of it, but keep in mind that the null follow-up that it has got is going to be speed based. This skill is a lot more usable on units that already have insane amounts of true damage, because if you don't, then the finish skill or the Slice's Barrow is a lot better for just having some true damage. But for Attuned Brigid here, she already has so much true damage that she can easily afford to run this. And then she has got her preferred skill in I Remember. So at sort of both player phase and enemy phase, she's going to be inflicting -7 speed defense debuff and the panic status and the sabotage status on the closest foes and foes in 2 spaces. So again, this is going to be getting cleansed by Freyr, but you could try and overwhelm Attune Micaiah and have other debuffs stay there, like Undefended for example, which can help you snipe the enemy units. And if unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, then she inflicts -5 speed and defense debuff on the foe, and she gets another layer of true damage with 20% of her speed in the combat. This is not going to be applied to AoE specials, but yeah, like I was saying, she has a lot of true damage. And then she has got Miracle. Now Miracle is extremely good now because there's going to be a lot of hardy bearing Far Saviors that are red, like Nidhogger, Winterfell Mortis, Attuned Hector, all of that. And even Shield Fighter Far Saviors are going to be there. So for surviving them, you need to have the Miracle many times. And you can already afford to run Miracle in your special unless you're Ninja Lucina and you already have insane amounts of true damage. So they try and run Ymir or Fallen Maria with the Emblem Lin Ring meta, so they can try and survive those hardy bearing Far Saviors. But now you don't really need to do that with Attuned Brigid, as you can just run Winter Cordelia for the dual strike, and then the Miracle built in is going to be helping you survive. And she's going to be able to trigger like 3 curved shots, which is really, really strong. And keep in mind that the reason why you need Winter Cordelia and dual strike support is because the Shield Fighter save tanks do not get the damage reduction against the 4th hit. And, Attuned Brigid here doesn't really have a potent follow-up attack like Emblem Lin. So having that kind of brave support becomes even important if you want to successfully nuke with her power. And if she initiates combat or if she's within 2 spaces of an ally, then she's able to heal up 7 HP after the combat. So a bit of Self-healing is good because she does have that miracle, but you gotta watch out for Hathran because she can inflict the null miracle status, which is gonna be getting rid of your miracle because it's non-special in nature. Then she's got Creation Pulse, which is gonna be working off the penalty status that she can inflict with her slot B skill for giving her the -2 special cooldown jump. But a lot of times this could be just replaced with a simple Time Pulse 4 so that she could trigger Curve Shot on her first hit. So Creation Pulse is not always going to be needed, and especially against the Freyr cleansing, it is going to be a bit annoying to use. And then she's got Tempo Echo. This is likely going to be infantry locked as well. So this is going to be giving you the full tempo effect and the 50% damage reduction piercing. So it can help a lot of the units that are not running any kind of damage reduction piercing slot B scale. So the options are definitely pretty good, and the tempo effect can certainly help the units with a special spamming playstyle. So Attuned Brigid is a really powerful Lin-Ring user, which you would expect right out of that banner, and even before that we got Rearm Layla. So all of these range units just excel at using this new ring that we have got, and even along with Emblem Lin support, so you could just have 2 nukes, and it's insane with safety fence level 2 that we have got now. So even though she is another green infantry archer, she is pretty strong because of the miracle and the feud effect, which makes her stand out. I mean, we don't really have a lot of feud ranged nukes. The ones that we have got are kind of outdated at this point. We have also got Chulainn as the grant her battle free unit. He is unfortunately not going to be having a preferred weapon because his weapon matches Oswin's campaign lance, so he pretty much has campaign sword, I think. Decent weapon again, but I wish that he had got a preferred weapon, and a sword infantry unit that is good with a preferred weapon would have been nice in this metagame where you face Marnie every single game in Arena. And this banner is overall going to be a lot more skippable than the New Year's or the Emblem Lin banner, which is extremely important for most players. But still, this banner does have good fodder, and Attuned Brigid is really powerful. She is more powerful than she looks, so definitely don't sleep on her. So I hope you all enjoyed. I want to thank all of my team members for the constant support, and make sure to click the link on the screen right now to check out my breakdown of the New Year banner. And also make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Wrathful Staff with the new Sway skill. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.